Alrighty guys, welcome to Phasmophobia Chronicle Update official patch notes. I did post a video with the oh, we're going live or whatever, and I went over the announcement notes, but we have the official patch notes, including the fact that Grafton has not yet been replaced, unfortunately. I'm really sad about that, but we will get to it as soon as we can. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the Chronicle Update patch notes. So, we're gonna go really fast because I'm sure a lot of people have seen other creators go through these notes. There's a bunch of fix notes that I really want to read because I think they'd be fun. So big deal, if you haven't seen it yet, somehow, if I'm the first person to tell you, we have the new media section. So the core of this update is a rework of how media is gathered. So instead of spamming salt photos or something else, like candle blowouts or something, we have a whole different way to collect photos and now video and sound. So instead of 10 photos, it's going to be 5 photos, and now we have video and sound to take the rest of the spot. We have new stuff. They're changing the way that we can record things, and a lot of it makes a lot of sense. So for example, we can now photograph the EMF reader, finally. So if there's an EMF 5, we can finally get a picture of that and it counts as picture. We have different forms of the ghost we can take photos of. So like in this example here, we have the dots ghost. There's also a shadow ghost and a physical ghost that we can get photos of that. We can also get a couple other things. So we still have the cursed object, we still have the UV footprints, the bone picture, a couple other things. But big changes that it'll be is that if you take a picture of a light switch, you're not going to get money for that. If you take a picture of a door that just got moved, you're not going to get money for that. Same things for thrown objects, because okay, let's say you're actually ghost hunting, IRL, and you go to your boss and you're like, oh, here's my proof of a ghost, and it's just a picture of messed up salt. No one's going to pay you money for that. Peter Parker would not make that kind of money for a picture of webbing in the side of an alley. No. So a lot of these items are going to become video options. So we're going to jump down to videos. So using the video camera or even the CCTV camera footage in the van, we can record video clips and use that. So a throwing item. So as the item floats across the room, we can get that video clip. The ghost orbs count as a video clip now. Thank goodness! We can get, a ghost event, which is a big deal. We can get hunting ghosts. There's actually a list right here. Hunting ghost, a ghost triggering a crucifix. We can get a picture of the crucifix lighting up. Or not a picture, a video of the crucifix lighting up. We can get objects as they're being thrown. We can get a moving door all on its own. Ghosts interacting with things like the rocking chairs, them breaking the lights, blowing out a candle, and a couple other ones. There's a full list that people have already started making, so I'm going to start digging those up very soon. We also have sounds, so we can finally start recording sounds. So one of those is going to be something like paranormal sounds, stuff you would hear on the paramic. You have to use the sound recorder, not the parabolic microphone. We have a hunting ghost. We can record its sound. We can record singing ghost events, spirit box responses, and a bunch more stuff. There's new special paranormal sounds as well. I've heard a couple clips, and I'm super spiced up. I'm really excited to see it. We also have a new CCTV system. We're going to look a lot more into this in our first game. But we have new ways. It's a new interface. You can actually switch between CCTV, video, and head cams. So you're not constantly flipping through. You can just click which one you want to review. And the video cameras, you can review up to 4 on the side at once. So you can see those 4 and you're not constantly scrolling back and forth. So it'll be a lot easier to track the ghost during hunts. It'll be a lot easier to flip from a CCTV to a head cam and stuff instead of constantly jumping back and forth, especially on school where there's already 15 cameras in the building. It'll be so much easier to jump through that. So we can view a bunch of different feeds and we can record while in the truck. So you're welcome, van princesses. You are about to get a big ol' upgrade. We also have the unique media upgrade. So instead of the 3-star system, it's going to be uniques versus duplicates, which I kind of like because the 3-star thing was really cool, but it did allow for duplicate abuse. So the first time a type of media is captured, it's unique, and then everyone after that is not unique and it doesn't make as much money. So disturbed salt, you can only get one for actual good money. The other ones are just duplicates. But we can get orbs, you can get salt, you can get the ghost walking around, you can get things being thrown. So you don't have to get duplicates, you just have to watch what you've already recorded and paid attention to things. What's important for this is you can't have any duplicates in your book in order to get a perfect. And so you've got 5 videos, 5 sounds, and 5 pictures to get. It's going to be intense. That's 15 items, and some of them are going to be a little bit harder to handle, but it's going to be fine. We'll be chilling. And we can delete up to 3. That's 1 per type. It can get a little scary. It's going to be pretty tricky because we've gone from 10 to 15, but I still think it's a solid mix. And then the progression's changed a little bit. They've added some extra money bonuses for the higher tiers of the camera, video camera, and sound recorder. So like, yeah, I feel like it could be a little bit more money, but at the same time, you make so much money as is, so it's not a huge deal. We also have a couple like extra upgrades, so that way you can choose your upgrade path, it looks like. So you can get crucifix or incense at the same time, and you can choose which one to upgrade first, instead of being forced into a specific upgrade path. It does feel nice as well, because crucifix 3 was at level 90, and by then you've already done a bunch of other stuff, so like, who even needs a crucifix 3 at that point? At that point, you're just doing good because you have tier 3 of everything else. So this way you can have some fun with how you want to upgrade things, or you can upgrade both if you have the money saved up, and that way you have more levels to play with the higher level stuff as well. Challenges have changed a little bit. We did just change from the lights out to on record. I'm so glad I finished lights out already. That video is already up, so if you're seeing this on YouTube, which is the only place it's going to be once I'm done, you can jump and watch that. And then I will also be doing the on record challenge that just went live about 2 days ago, so we've got that to work through as well. We've got more events coming up. There's going to be equipment focused challenges, so I'm very excited to that. And there's a couple newer challenges that they're going to rotate in for some special events, so I'm excited to see how those go and what differences are going to be. They're definitely going to be an upgrade from the same, I think it's like 50 or 52 that they've been rotating every single week. Oh, it's not 50, it's like 26. And they rotate it every single week, so you're playing the same one 2 times every year. So with some new ones or some rotational ones, it'll be really fun to see those. We've also got some new objectives. I'm excited to see how those show up. But like capture a video, of course, capture sounds with the sound recorder, capture unique things with cameras, stuff like that. And then they've changed the EMF reader one to capture a photo of the EMF reading, which I like a lot. I think that one feels better than just like, ooh, I found the ghost room, therefore I have my EMF challenge. There's some other stuff on here. There's some main menu changes. I'm excited to see those. When you're making public rooms, you can set some play styles. There's some stuff for like lobby browsing. There's also like difficulty things when browsing the rooms. Like the multiplayer stuff looks like it's some quality of life changes. And then where's the rest? Because I was skimming. Okay. Twitch drops are live. I unfortunately am not Twitch drop, but I will be tracking down people that are, because I want to get that cool Twitch drop card. Very excited. There's some new sounds. There's new trophies. We're going to walk through those. I'm going to take absolutely forever on all the new stuff. And there's some other additional stuff. It looks like there's a few things that are quality of life for console players as well as VR. So other cool changes that I'm really excited about. The crucifix visually cools down after preventing a hunt. So it's not going to stay red forever, which I really like. It's going to be a little spicy because you have to pay attention to it, but if you leave the room and you come back and it's cooled down, that means it burned really, really early and then cooled down while you were gone. So you can kind of track how recently it hit that crucifix, and you can actually pay attention to like timing and stuff a little bit more. We have some other stuff. Goryo has an increased chance of dots, thank God. my last like 4 Gorios took 20 minutes of me sitting in the van for me to actually see it, so that's delightful. You can load Phasmo on Steam without internet. Amazing. Ooh, I just noticed this. The Banshee can now change rooms. Spicy? That's gonna be a little intense, which means the Gorio will now be the only ghost that can't change rooms. So we'll have to watch that. Player no longer has to click ready up in single player. I love that. Bunch of fixes. This is what I was here for. Okay. Fix an issue in Point Hope that restricted player movement when holding the large pan. Love it. Fix an issue caused salt to be placed in the air. Love it. Visual issue with the CCTV screensaver appearing outside the monitor. I'm gonna zoom in really quickly actually so you can read this a little better. Where were we? Fix an issue where that would cause cursed possession to be thrown out of a player's reach in the Bleasdale attic. Of course. Bones would spawn in inaccessible locations in the following maps. Thank goodness. I do remember seeing those occasionally. Infinite sprinting after using the monkey paw. I missed out on using that. Need to fix an issue for VR. Don't care. Fix an issue where a cabinet door would not show as open for non-VR if opened by VR. Huh. Prevented headgear from being usable if a player was disconnected or perished. Dots and motion sensors. Oh yes, the Grafton updates and things. That'll be nice. Fix an issue that caused hunts to happen if a player was outside the door on a couple maps. I feel like I might have seen one of those happen, which is pretty funny. Hantu breath to be visible after being killed with extended hunts on. But that doesn't make sense. But it's fine. Store to scroll while in the tutorial, of course. Allowed items to be thrown through the outside wall of Ridgeview. Ouija board not to break when asked a question. Okay. Fixed an issue that caused items to get stuck behind the TV. Oh no. Visual issue with overlapping text. Okay. UV lights in the wrong order in the main menu lobby. Love it. Fixed an audio issue that caused flies to be heard when master volume was set to 0 in Maple Lodge. I want to know who finds these. Like, how do you find out about the flies? Who's playing on volume 0 on Maple Lodge? That's such an odd thing. Fix an issue where the ghost could become stuck in the lockers in prison. I'm so sad I never got to experience that. Prevented the player from being killed when hiding behind a chair. Dang it. Fixed an issue that allowed the Obake to walk backwards during a hunt. That feels like an Obake thing though. And this, I heard about this. Fixed an issue that caused lights to turn off when a crucifix is used. Apparently this has been a bug the entire time. RIP, because I actually really liked it. But now they will not do that, which means I can actually set up things and wait for a hunt and not have to keep turning on the lights every single time they hit a crucifix. Let's see, VR players. Fix an issue, cause the music box to be broken if the player left a previous game while using it. So odd. Visual issue with the tier 1 crucifix clipping under carpets. We've seen that. Ghosts to be stuck behind crates during a hunt on Maple Lodge. Blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of these on here. The camping chair. A visual issue with the camping chair in the yellow tent in Maple Lodge. Fixed an issue that prevented players from mounting video cameras on tripods in VR. Caused the music box to flip when placed on a carpet. I want to see that. I do remember seeing other players, the VR players journal. Love it. Lighting incense. A lot of VR fixes, it looks like. Oh. Allowed the player to stand in the small tents and prevent the ghost from killing the player. I remember hearing about that. Inconsistencies. Let me skim here. Allowed dead players to hear a heartbeat while stood next to the ghost. Oh yes. There was no worries. Have fun with that Twitch drop. I remember being stuck with my heartbeat for an entire round because I died really early and I had my heartbeat in my ears the entire time I was dead. It was so frustrating. I like lost my mind a little bit. Teleport movement. Prevented the Raiju receiving speed increase. Well, that would have been awkward. We do have the fun statistics. I gotta look up those. Cause the ghost model to not be visible at distance during a hunt. I think I've seen that pretty recently. Tripods become unusable if camera is placed on them. Spirit box UI. Okay. Prevented players from reporting other players. Would be super awkward. Audio issue that would play footstep sounds when a player is not moving. Cause the tick over to the apocalypse icon to now display after completing gold. And then stuff that are known issues. Known issues, we love those. Trophies may not be visible for a bunch of the consoles. Recordable sound may spawn in an area that's not accessible to the player. If a video is deleted, the player will be unable to record another video of that type during the same contract. Ooh. Ooh. I don't. Ooh. Okay. Sound recorder is not alphabetical. I don't really care. That's fine. Audio levels on several sounds may be high. We'll live with that. Master volume does not affect the sound recorder volume. SFX of sound recorder can be heard from very far away. Okay. The High Priestess Tarot card, if drawn, may not always revive the player. Okay. Catch me not touching the darn tarot cards. Footsteps of the ghost is not audible. Hate that. And there may be higher than expected difficulty in getting audio with the sound recorder. Okay. I think I saw a comment about that, so we'll just do our best, honestly. And the player cannot take a photo of the thermometer for freezing temps if their setting is Fahrenheit. Celsius! Alright guys, that is the Phasmophobia Chronicle update patch notes. I hope you enjoyed my dramatic reading of like half of it, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's get back to ghost hunting. Bye!